guys, it's Caitlin, and today I am here to bring you my March wrap-up and my April TBR. I declare myself the queen of not reading what I'm supposed to read this month, so let's get started. I had a decent reading month. I read 4 books. I wanted to read more, but I got a little distracted right in the middle there. All the books that I did read, I rated 4 stars this month, so that was pretty good. I would have read more, but I got really distracted because I started writing a new book. The first book I picked up this month was The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katarina Bivald. Like I said, this was a 4-star book. It follows a girl named Sarah who is Swedish, and she has a pen pal named Amy who she's been writing to for several years, and they have a shared love of books. She agrees to come to Broken Wheel, Iowa to visit Amy for her summer vacation, but when she arrives, there's no one there to pick her up, and when she finally makes it there, she discovers that Amy has died. She becomes involved in the community, meets everybody there, and decides that she is going to open a bookstore in one of the crumbling, empty storefronts. I really enjoyed this book. It was like nothing I've ever read. It was very like slow paced. Like there wasn't very much action, but it was just so engrossing. It had the perfect blend and understanding of that small town vibe that it felt so realistic to me, and I just really loved the story. I loved the characters. The ending had a little bit too much of a cheesy, everything ties up in a perfect little bow quality to it. So that kind of bothered me. It also did kind of remind me a little bit of the ending of The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I'll definitely be reading more of Katarina Bivald's books in the future, and I'm really glad I picked this one up. The next book I read this month was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. I read the first one almost a year ago, and so I finally got around to picking this one up. Once again, it was 4 stars. I enjoyed the story overall. I thought it was interesting, but I've discovered that the reason that I'm not as in love with this series as everybody else is because I don't love Selena. I like the story. I think it's interesting. It's a kind of setting and kind of feeling to the book that drew me into fantasy novels by Tamora Pierce, which is why I'm continuing on with this series. But Selena to me isn't a strong female character. She isn't someone I aspire to or someone I want to be best friends with. I just think she's kind of a mean girl. I know people like her in real life and I don't like them. I think they're pretty terrible, honestly. So I'm not her hugest fan, and I'm mostly sticking around for the other characters in this book and to see if she gets any growth to the point where she's going to start treating other people better. The next book I read this month was a library book, and that was The Revolution of Ivy by Amy Engel. This is the sequel and the conclusion to the Book of Ivy duology. I can't say too much about this book either because it, like I said, is the concluding novel to the duology. I enjoyed this book a lot more than I think a lot of other people did. I gave the first book last month 3 stars, and I gave this one 4 stars. I know a lot of people were disappointed in it, but I went into it with really low expectations, and it really surprised me. I felt like for the first time, I really got a good sense of these characters. I felt their emotions. I felt emotionally connected to them, and I really enjoyed the story overall, and I did like how it kind of concluded, although I did feel like it was a little bit too perfect, but overall, solid read, and I did enjoy it. The next book I picked up this month was Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. This is a debut novel, and it came out at the beginning of the month. This book follows a girl named Amani who lives in a town called Dustwalk. It's not a good place to live. I really enjoyed this story overall. Like I said, once again, 4-star book. I have a review that I will go ahead and link down below. This book had a very interesting setting and feeling to it, had some definite Arabic Muslim themes to it, mixed in with a very good old Western vibe. It follows her as she desperately seeks to escape Dustwalk and get out into the real world before kind of her life gets any worse than it already is. I really enjoyed this book overall. I didn't enjoy the ending, which is why I wasn't able to give it a full 5 stars, but like I said, I have a full review, which I will link down below, so you can watch that for more of my opinions on this book. The final book that I have been reading this month is one that I haven't quite finished yet, and that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. About halfway through, I really thought that I would just speed through this, and it's not that it's not good. I will go ahead and link the video talking about why I haven't finished this one yet down below as well. But overall, this book is so good. I am so in love with the characters. The tone is incredible. I have no complaints about the story at all. I started this book over spring break, and I thought that I would be able to get through it, but also during spring break is when I started writing my newest story, and so my whole life has just been dedicated to writing that story, and I've only had you know, a couple hours here and there to dedicate to this book, but I really, really love it. I kind of don't want it to end. I know that I'm going to die inside. I'm so excited to finish this, but I'm also so not excited to have to wait a year or 10 for the next book. This is definitely her best book so far. So those were the books that I managed to read in the month of March, and now we are going into my April TBR. Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I want to finish this book. I'm really, really loving this story so much. So much. The next book that I am picking up is my most anticipated book of the entire year, and that is The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rutkoski, the third and final book in the Winner's Curse trilogy. I'm really upset that I didn't read this the second that I got it in the mail on release day because, oh my gosh, the second book killed me inside and I just need to know what happens. But I will get to it as soon as possible. I will probably devour it in one sitting, and then I will probably cry for the rest of my life. Well, I do want to finish Lady Midnight and read The Winner's Kiss. I also am taking into account the fact that April is going to be a super busy month for me, coming up on finals. So all these tests are going to be coming at me, obviously daily quizzes pretty much. I only have half a day off per week that I'm not either at work or in school all day. I'm aware that I'm not going to have a ton of reading time because I have to do the yearbook for my program. I have to organize a speaker to make sure all of these things get done while I'm also helping out with this dog wash fundraiser. So I'm only going to be trying to read one more book this month, Heir of Fire, the third book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Like I said, I did enjoy Crown of Midnight. I'm eager to see where the story goes next. I know that there are some characters introduced in this one that everybody constantly talks about all over social media, so I'm really excited to meet them, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to start liking Selena more as the series continues. So this concludes my March wrap-up and my April TBR. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know which of these books you've read, which ones you want to read, what you thought of them if you have read them. Hit like if you liked this video, hit subscribe if you really liked it, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!